I bet you didn't know the mountain holds secrets that only the brave can uncover. Three friends, bound by years of laughter and adventure, embarked on a familiar path. Thorin, the sturdy and reliable one, led the way. Balin, ever the cautious planner, followed closely behind. Dwalin, the dreamer with a thirst for the unknown, brought up the rear. The mountain loomed large, a silent giant watching their every step. Their path led them high into the mountain's embrace. The air grew thin, the wind biting cold. A sudden gust tore at their cloaks, revealing a hidden crevice. Inside, nestled amongst the rocks, lay a weathered parchment. It was a map, its lines faded with time, hinting at a forgotten legend. The map spoke of a hidden treasure, a hoard of unimaginable wealth. It whispered of treacherous paths and ancient guardians. Excitement flickered in their eyes, a shared spark of adventure. They swore an oath, a pact of brotherhood, to face the mountain's challenges together and claim the treasure as their own. As night fell, they set up camp, the flickering fire casting long shadows. They shared stories of old adventures, their laughter echoing through the night. By the firelight, they studied the map, planning their route for the days ahead. The next day, they faced their first challenge, crossing a swift river. With teamwork and determination, they made it across, their bond growing stronger. A steep cliff loomed ahead, testing their resolve. They climbed with grit and perseverance, each step a testament to their unity. At the top, they rested, the view a reward for their efforts. A sudden storm tested their endurance, the mountain's fury unleashed. They found shelter in a cave, huddling together as the storm raged outside. In the darkness, they found comfort in each other, their friendship a beacon of hope. As the storm passed, they emerged, ready to face whatever lay ahead. With renewed determination, they pressed on, the mountain's secrets waiting to be unveiled. This is going to blow your mind. Hope fueled their steps as they ventured deeper into the mountain's heart. Days turned into weeks, the outside world fading into a distant memory. The map, their guide, led them through winding canyons and across treacherous ridges. They faced howling blizzards and navigated icy slopes. Each challenge they overcame strengthened their bond. They shared dwindling rations, huddled together for warmth against the biting wind. They laughed, they argued, they sang songs of their homeland to keep their spirits high. Their friendship, forged in the fires of shared hardship, became their beacon in the unforgiving wilderness. The treasure, once a distant dream, now felt tantalizingly close, yet as they climbed higher, the mountains seemed to test their resolve. The air grew heavy with unspoken tension, a subtle shift in their camaraderie. The lure of gold, once a shared ambition, began to cast long shadows on their once unbreakable bond. They encountered steep cliffs that required careful planning and teamwork to navigate. Using ropes and harnesses, they helped each other climb, their trust in one another put to the test. Setting up camp in the midst of a storm, they struggled with tents and gear, their patience wearing thin. Around the campfire, they shared stories of home, trying to lift each other's spirits despite the growing fatigue. A wild animal encounter brought a mix of fear and excitement, reminding them of the untamed wilderness they were in. Arguments over the map and the best route to take caused tensions to rise, their unity fraying at the edges. A river crossing posed another challenge, with debates on the safest way to cross adding to the strain. In the end, they worked together, ensuring everyone's safety as they crossed the rushing waters. Reaching a high vantage point, they looked out over the landscape with renewed determination, the treasure's promise pulling them forward. In quiet moments, they reflected on their journey, the hardships faced, and the bond that had grown between them. With the mountain peak looming closer, they pushed forward, their resolve hardening with each step. Supporting each other through every challenge, their determination shone through, a testament to their unyielding spirit. You need to watch this if you struggle with perseverance. The mountain challenged their every step. Razor-sharp ridges threatened to shear them from the cliff face. Glacial crevasses yawned beneath their feet, promising a swift and icy demise. Yet they persevered, driven by the promise of untold riches. They deciphered cryptic riddles etched into ancient stone, each solution revealing a new path, a step closer to their goal. They navigated mazes of ice, their every breath echoing in the eerie silence. The treasure, once a distant glimmer, now felt within reach, but the mountain held its secrets close. The air grew colder, the wind whispering tales of betrayal and greed. The map, once their trusted guide, now seemed to mock their ambition. For within the heart of each man, a seed of doubt had been sown. The treasure, once a symbol of their shared ambition, was becoming a wedge, driving them slowly apart. As night fell, they set up camp, the flickering firelight casting long shadows on their weary faces. They shared stories of past adventures, laughter momentarily easing the tension. But the mountain was relentless. A sudden snowstorm tested their resolve, each gust of wind a reminder of nature's fury. They leaned on each other, their bond strengthening with every shared struggle. Seeking refuge, they stumbled upon a hidden cave, its dark entrance promising shelter from the storm. Inside, they lit torches, the flickering flames revealing ancient markings on the walls. The cave's secrets hinted at a deeper mystery, one that could either lead them to the treasure or to their doom. With renewed determination, they emerged from the cave, ready to face whatever trials lay ahead. The summit was within sight, a beacon of hope amidst the treacherous landscape. Together, they would conquer the mountain, for the promise of the forgotten treasure was worth every trial. Gap 2S, I bet you didn't know the mountain held such a powerful secret. As they delved deeper into the mountain's heart, the air grew thick with an ancient presence. The walls of the hidden cave were adorned with carvings, telling the tales of a civilization long forgotten. These people, the mountain's original inhabitants, had guarded a powerful secret, the very treasure our adventurers sought. The carvings revealed a history of prosperity, a golden age brought to ruin by greed and betrayal. The treasure, it seemed, was a double-edged sword, a source of immense power that could either uplift or destroy. As they pieced together the story, a sense of unease settled over them. This was no ordinary treasure hunt, it was a journey into the very soul of the mountain. Their torches flickered, casting eerie shadows that danced on the ancient stone. Suddenly, the silence was broken by the soft rustle of movement. Mystical creatures, guardians of the mountain's secrets, emerged from the darkness. These beings, ethereal and wise, posed questions that challenged the adventurers' morals and intentions. "Why do you seek the treasure?" one creature asked, its voice echoing like a distant memory. "Is it for glory, for wealth, or for something greater?" Each adventurer faced their own inner demons, their answers revealing the true nature of their quest. Some sought redemption, others adventure. But as they spoke, the mountain seemed to weigh their words, its ancient spirit judging their worthiness. The moral dilemmas they faced were not just tests of their resolve, but of their very souls. The treasure, they realized, was not just a prize to be won, but a responsibility to be earned. With newfound clarity, they continued their journey, the summit now more than just a beacon of hope. It was a symbol of the trials they had overcome and the truths they had uncovered. The mountain's secrets had changed them, binding them closer together and sharpening their resolve. They were no longer just treasure hunters, they were the keepers of an ancient legacy. As they emerged from the cave, the storm had passed, leaving a clear, star-filled sky. The summit was within reach, a final challenge that would test everything they had learned. They were ready not just to claim the treasure, but to honor the mountain's history and its people. Gap 2S? Together they would face whatever lay ahead, for they now understood that the true treasure was the journey itself and the bonds they had forged along the way. The mountain's secret was now their guiding light, leading them to a destiny they had never imagined. Gap 2S. Are you ready to face your greatest fears and conquer the unknown? Gap 2S. Key point 5. A dangerous obstacle blocks the way. The adventurers stood at the base of the final ascent. The summit loomed above them, shrouded in mist and mystery. This was the last leg of their journey, the most perilous stretch that would demand every ounce of their strength and resolve. The path ahead was treacherous, a narrow ridge flanked by sheer drops and jagged rocks. Each step was a test of balance and bravery, a reminder of the stakes. The wind howled, a relentless force that seemed determined to push them back. But they pressed on, their bond the only thing stronger than the mountain's fury. As they climbed higher, the temperature dropped and the air grew thin. They faced their greatest fears: heights, isolation, the unknown. One slip could mean the end, yet they moved as one, each adventurer supporting the other. Gap 2S. Suddenly the ground beneath them trembled. An avalanche roared to life, a wall of snow and ice hurtling toward them. With no time to think, they acted on instinct, diving for cover behind a rocky outcrop. The avalanche passed, leaving them shaken but unharmed. It was a stark reminder of the mountain's unforgiving nature. Their ordeal was far from over. As they neared the summit, an eerie silence fell. A final guardian awaited them. A colossal stone golem, a sentinel of the ancient treasure. It was a test of their unity and courage. They had to work together, combining their skills and wits to outmaneuver the guardian. With hearts pounding and adrenaline surging, they fought as one. Every move was precise, every action a testament to their journey. And finally, with a coordinated strike, they overcame the guardian, its stone form crumbling to dust. Gap 2S. Exhausted but triumphant, they reached the summit. There, bathed in the light of the rising sun, lay the treasure. It was a sight to behold, a chest filled with gold, jewels, and ancient artifacts. But as they stood before it, they realized the true cost of their quest. The treasure was not just a reward, it was a responsibility, a legacy to be honored. They had faced their fears, overcome insurmountable odds, and forged a bond that would last a lifetime. The mountain had tested them, and they had proven worthy. With reverence, they took only what they needed, leaving the rest as a tribute to the mountain's ancient guardians. As they descended, the treasure safely in tow, they knew their lives had been forever changed. The final ascent was not just a climb to the top, but a journey into their own hearts. They had discovered that the true treasure lay not in gold or jewels, but in the strength of their unity and the courage of their spirits. Gap 2S. And so, with the mountain's whisper echoing in their minds, they made their way back to the world below, ready to share the story of their incredible journey and the lessons they had learned along the way. Gap 2S. I don't think people understand the true value of a treasure hunt. Key point 3. A clue is found near the ancient oak tree. As the adventurers stood at the summit, the first rays of the morning sun illuminated the treasure before them. Key point 5. The treasure is within reach. The chest, overflowing with gold, jewels, and ancient artifacts, sparkled with an almost otherworldly glow. It was a sight that could make even the most stoic heart race with excitement. But as they moved closer, the air grew heavy with an unspoken tension. Gap 2S. Key point 4. The map reveals a hidden path. They opened the chest, their eyes widening at the sheer magnitude of their discovery. Yet in that moment of triumph, a sense of unease washed over them. The treasure was not just a reward, it was a burden, a test of their integrity and unity. Each adventurer felt the weight of the decision that lay ahead, whether to take the treasure and risk the consequences or leave it behind as a tribute to the mountain's guardians. Gap 2S. They gathered in a circle, their faces reflecting the inner conflict they all felt. The allure of the treasure was strong, but so was the bond they had forged through their trials. They began to discuss their options, voices tinged with emotion. Some argued that the treasure could change their lives for the better, help their families, and fulfill their dreams. Others pointed out the dangers of greed and the potential to lose themselves in the pursuit of wealth. Gap 2S. In the midst of their deliberation, the mountain seemed to whisper once more, reminding them of the lessons they had learned on their journey. They had faced fear, overcome obstacles, and discovered the true strength of their friendship. It was clear that the mountain's greatest gift was not material wealth, but the wisdom and unity they had gained. Gap 2S. With a collective sigh, they reached a decision. They took only a small portion of the treasure, enough to symbolize their achievement and to help those in need. The rest they left behind as a tribute, a gesture of respect to the mountain and its ancient guardians. It was a difficult choice, but one that felt right. Gap 2S. As they began their descent, the weight of the decision lifted from their shoulders. They carried with them not just gold and jewels, but a deeper understanding of what truly mattered. Their journey had been one of self-discovery, and they knew that the lessons they had learned would guide them for the rest of their lives. Gap 2S. The mountain's whisper echoed in their minds, a reminder of their incredible journey and the strength of their unity. They had faced the ultimate test and emerged not just as adventurers, but as true friends, bound by the courage of their spirits and the wisdom of their hearts. And so they returned to the world below, ready to share the story of their remarkable journey and the invaluable lessons they had learned along the way.